and gentlemen, this is Nick from MPKD369, and today I'm going to bring you the top 10 standard cards from Dragon's Maze. So without further ado, let's start off at number 10. At number 10 we have Far and Away. Far lets you return target creature to its owner's hand, and Away, target player sacrifices a creature. This card is really solid in the format right now. It's definitely going to see play in Esper. This can be a 2-for-1 kill spell a lot of times, especially now that tokens are becoming very popular in Standard. I mean, we have Advent of the Worm, Thragtusk tokens, Huntmaster tokens, Call of the Conclave, and so you can return a token and then make them sack a creature. So this is oftentimes, you're probably going to be able to get 2 creatures with this. I mean, even when it's worse, when you only get 1, that's still solid. And you can use either half of this card. I mean, yes, you're paying 1 colorless more for an unsummon, but I mean, running another unsummon, I guess, if you need to stall, then this is going to be able to do that. And Away, just making them sacrifice a creature when they only have 1, then that's also good as well. So I don't think this card is going to be necessarily bad ever. I mean, if you're playing against like a tempo control deck, it's not going to be doing very well, but the format is pretty aggro right now, so I think this is going to see a lot of play. So at the number 9 slot we have Unflinching Courage, which is pretty much the same card of Armadillo Cloak. This is definitely going to see play in Bat Hexroof and probably going to replace Gift of Orzhov. Gift of Orzhov was pretty good, but it wasn't too relevant, giving an unblockable creature flying. With this, you can give it +2/+2 in lifelink versus Gift of Orzhov, which only gave it +1/+1 in lifelink. So this is definitely going to see more play, and this is a little less mana intensive, I guess. So I definitely like Unflinching Courage more. And even if you slap this on Geist, that's pretty solid. So now you have a 4/4 lifelink Trampler on Geist. And so this card is really good in my opinion. At the number 8 slot, we have Blood Baron of Vizkopa. Blood Baron of Vizkopa is a pretty hyped card, and I do think it's good, but not as good as everyone may think. Lifelink is always nice on a creature, and a 4/4 body is pretty good. It doesn't meet the Titan rule, and so, I mean, some people don't like that. It's not a huge deal for what it does. I guess it's not overly costed. I actually think protection for white and black is better, and it's definitely going to be it's going to be better in the standard format right now, because pretty much the biggest removal is white and black in the format right now, so it's not going to be able to get Tragic Slipped, Murdered, Putrefied, whatever. It's not going to get Oblivion Ringed or whatever, so this guy is going to stay in the board once he hits. The second ability isn't too relevant, which everyone thinks is so awesome, so they're going to have 10/10 flare, but if they have less than 10 life, you're probably already winning, and you're just going to be steamrolling them once this guy gets +6/+6 and flying. So the other thing he's got going for him is that he's a vampire, and I know some people like to run vampire decks, which is cool. I'm not a huge fan of that, but this guy is definitely going to see some play in Standard, most likely in the Aristocrats and or Esper, so he's pretty good. I like him, but when he's bad, he's going to be bad. But he can easily get removed to Mizium Orders, which is a pretty big downfall, but he's okay. At the number 7 slot, we have Turn and Burn. Turn and Burn is one of my favorite cards from the set, and it's a really great removal card. Again, this is similar to Far and Away, that it can act as a 2-way removal. If you cast Turn, this is you can turn one of their creatures to 0/1 while it's attacking. And basically then you can just chump block with a 1/1 and it's dead. And then Burn is relevant. I mean, you can just do 2 damage to a target creature or player. So even in the late game, I guess this has some use in it. But Turn is really good against Obsidat, which is kind of hard to remove. So you just turn into 0/1 and then you cast Burn and you're going to kill it. So I think Turn and Burn is a really good card, and it can remove a lot of things. At number 6, we have Advent of the Worm. Advent of the Worm is competing with Restoration Angel right now in Standard, so it might not see as much play, but it could definitely see play in tokens if that becomes a thing. And it also has a great synergy with Augur of Bolas, So basically, Augur Bolus is usually fetching an instant or sorcery, but in this case, it's kind of fetching you a creature, so that's really awesome in my opinion. And again, it's a token, so it does have its downfall. So if it gets, like, if someone casts Far and use it on the worm, then your worm just went bye-bye. That's unfortunate. But, I mean, a 5/5 flashing, trampling worm is ridiculous for 4. It is a little mana intensive, so you're not going to exactly be able to splash in other decks. This is probably going to see a lot of play in, I saw one deck list that was called Bant Flash, and so this is a great suit for that. But again, it doesn't have a lot of synergy with Restoration Angel because you can't even blink the token, and so I think you're going to have to choose one or the other a lot of times if you're going to run them. But this probably will see some fringe play, but I like it, and maybe once Restoration Angel rotates from the format, this is what we'll see a lot more play. It's definitely a solid card, so I'd be a little scared to see it. The number 5 slot, we have Sin Collector, and this is again another one of my favorite cards from the set. Basically, you're getting a 2/1 body, and you get to exile an instant or sorcery from an opponent's hand. So you're not only getting to see their hand, but now you're gonna exile an instant or sorcery. So if you get an Unbarrel Rights from that's amazing. You're just like, yeah, piece your Unbarrel Rights, and oh, you were gonna do that too. So haha. And so basically, you can see how fucked they were, or how good a condition they are. And especially if you remove their a key card like Unbarrel Rights, then they're gonna be hurting pretty badly. Not to mention he's a 2/1 body, and so you slap him down in turn 3, and then you have, I mean, maybe even turn 2, and then you're swinging in with a 2/1. That's solid to me. Additionally, he's a human for an archetype, which he fits into a lot of different places, and if you Cavern of Souls this guy, wow, that's gonna hurt. And so this guy's probably gonna see play in Aristocrats, Junk Reanimator, and Esper. And the best things you can probably fetch with this guy is Unbarrel Rights, Sphinx Revelation, maybe a removal spell, but he's really good to me. And he's not overly mana intensive either, and so he's definitely going to see play in different decks. At the number 4 spot, I have Deadbridge Chant, and that might be a little high for this card, but I think it's really underrated, and it's a really good card for what it does. Additionally, there's not too many things that can remove it once it hits the board. So yes, you are milling yourself, and so if it does get removed, then that might be a negative, but think of, like, this card does so much. Basically, you're at the very least, you're drawing another card every turn. And if it's a creature, well, you're going to put that bad boy on the battlefield, and you're going to start swinging with him. And so, this is probably going to see play in Jund or Junk Reanimator, and once that guy is in the grave, and then if you're lucky enough, that guy might come back. So even if your graveyard is stacked too, with other things, that might be going back to your hand. So if you cast Rakdos Return and then you play this guy, then you might maybe get your Rakdos Return back and win in 2 turns. This card is ridiculous. And like I said, at the very least, you're drawing 2 cards. So I think this card is really good, and I picked up some copies, and I would recommend you picking up some copies if you haven't. This is definitely going to see some play in Standard, and it's very underrated at the moment. At the number 3 slot, I have Sire of Insanity. I think this card is going to see a lot of play in Standard, and it is good, but I think at certain times it's going to be more popular, and other times it might not. Like I said, when it's good, it's good. When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. So when this card is good, it's going to be amazing. Basically, if they have a lot of stuff in their hand that, especially in an aggro deck, if you just put it on their grave, yeah, they're going to be hurting. And a 6/4 body is kind of hard to remove, and so you're not going to necessarily be able to remove him super fast. Off the top of my head, Mizzium Mortis is definitely one of the few things that can kill him, but he can trade with a lot of things, including your big bad boys like Obsidet and Angel of Serenity. So this guy is really good in my books. Plus, if you dump your hand every turn and they don't have something to remove it, they're going to have to deal with a 6/4 body. In Jund, if you Cavern of Soul this guys against a control deck, it's basically over right there. They're not going to be able to produce an answer fast enough. And chances are you've already been doing damage, and this guy is ridiculous. I would definitely probably play some form of ramp so I can get this guy in turn 5, and if you're really lucky, turn 4. But this guy is really good. At the number 2 slot, I have Rel Zarek. In terms of Planeswalkers goes, Rel Zarek is really solid. at the very least, he's two lightning bolts on a stick, and his +1 could be kind of relevant. I mean, it's really nice if you already have a creature in the board, because then you can tap down one of their creatures, and then you can get through with one of your creatures. I mean, you could even use it for ramp if you need to. The -7 ability, I think, is a little overhyped. I mean, even if you, let's say best chance, like you get heads for all the coins, then yes, you get 5 more turns, but realistically, you're only getting it 3 or 2. And so, if you get 5 more turns, maybe, and if you're losing, the chances are you're not going to find something that maybe is going to win you the game, if it's like not even close. And you could draw like land 3 turns in a row, and if you're like you have shit to begin with, and you only draw 3 more lands, it's probably not going to help you. But you could find some answers that could bring you back in the game, but I definitely don't think he's going to win you the game all the time. Another thing with him is you're probably going to +1 him, like a lot. So you're not probably going to want to -7 him until he has 8 counters on him. That's just personally me, but I don't think it's worth it to waste him right at 7, especially because you could just draw 3 or 5 lands or something horribly. Chances are you probably won't draw 3 lands, but there is probably a decent chance that you will. So overall, I think all his abilities are really relevant, and he's definitely going to see play in Rug, UWR Flash, and probably some other decks. He could even get Splash in the decks I'm not thinking of, but he's definitely pretty solid. At the number 1 slot, I have Voice of Resurgence. Voice of Resurgence is, if not my favorite card of the set, because it's just so ridiculous. I think this card is going to be really good most of the time, but people are going to start playing around him, and decks are going to have to learn to play cards on their turn and not on their opponent's turn. I mean, on their opponent's turns and not their turn. This guy is going to put a lot of pressure on the board if you play him on turn 2, and you're basically going to just create bodies left and right. And if they don't have a good way of answering to this guy quick enough, then it's going to get ridiculous. And he's mostly going to see play in aggro decks, and then your tokens are going to be a lot more. But, I mean, if your board gets wiped, then you're just going to be left with a 1/1, which isn't bad to have just a creature, but, I mean, I guess late game he's not going to be as good. But if you play this guy in turn 2, yeah, you're going to be feeling pretty good about that. So that concludes my top 10 cards from Dragon's Maze that will impact Standard. I hope you guys liked this video. Feel free to drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed our video, guys. Also comment below saying what you liked about the video, what you didn't like about the video, and anything else. Hope you guys have a great day. Fuck yeah. Peace.